the work that I'm about to show you, it's called Light Intuition, or Alquimia Interior in Spanish. All right. It is a photographic collection, black and white film of double and triple exposure photography, and it is inspired about the feeling uh, or the chemistry process that happens inside our body, mind, and soul when we feel deeply rooted and ground or connected to the source. Okay. Um, Alquimia Interior AI is my response to like artificial intelligence, and I decide this name because I, I'm 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 very moved about not just uh, this feeling of connection and wholeness when we are in contact with the nature and the elements, but also the chemistry process that happens inside our camera when the light hits the silver particles on the film. All right. So all this body of work that you are about to see are pictures and captures that I've been gathering for more than 5 years as and belongs to my visual journey as documentary filmmaker. All right. All of them have been taken in Colombia, all around Colombian territory, and well, I'm more than pleased to share with you some of this image. So, in essence, double or multiple exposure photography, it is a very not linear process. You are not just taking a picture of a landscape or a person. You are more than looking to capture the essence or the soul of something. I like to say that when I'm taking or overlaying one picture to another, I'm trying to capture or portray the cosmovision of a single moment of a single breath of nature. All right. Um, so this picture here, it's called Árbol en Piedra, or tree over the stone, and it shows like a self-portrait made in Colombian coffee axis, that is like the heart of the country. Uh, uh, a place, a territory surrounded by a huge amount of waterfalls and jungle, diversity of ecosystems. And for us, when we start creating this image, the thing about the nakedness, it was not, it was explore our body, but it was also to embrace that vulnerability, to find meaning in within, and and certainly like find identity from the absence, from that freedom, from that opportunity to give ourselves to to the earth and to the nature, and this is something that I like. This is a picture that I like to share with you because it tells you how non-linear and no uh, structure is the double exposure photography, because it elongs the format of a single 35 millimeters capture. So sometimes happens that you are just documenting what are you feeling or what are you looking around you, and the camera just creates larger and cinematic captures. So it's not like Photoshop or something. It's just the camera, being tricked, and you can see that if you see this in the negative, it's as long as like this. So that's why it's important for me to show this. When I saw for the first time all the develop of this work, I was feel very, how can I say, moved. And I remember I just start crying because for me was the first time a picture can relate how I was feeling inside myself. You know, all the chaos, all the um, content, feelings, all the things that sometimes I just cannot express with words, or was just uh, imprint on the silver particles of the camera, right? For me, it was like just an expansion of myself, of my friends. So it really belongs to a moment of my life where I was just trying to find meaning very deep inside of me, and the trips or the travels that I was doing around the country, finding beauty, finding poetry, finding truth, finding stories or ways to tell the story of these territories. It was also a very very deep trip inside of me, inside of my me on my friends' mind. A little brighter here, but continuing with the idea, when I said that it was inspired by the alchemy, but the Asian alchemy process, where like this movement that cross paths with philosophy, art, science, all this to to turn matter into something precious. For me, the alchemy process in my work in the photography is to find the source of awareness, of consciousness, of for me the great work, the great um, meaning of this is to find consciousness, to find awareness of how we feel and how root we are in a human scale to the whole universe. That uh, to to find those polarities and those dualities between body, territory, soul, mind, uh, and to capture that world vision. This is a special piece that is called Luminescent Body or Cuerpo Luminiscente in Spanish. And it was the last picture of this body of work. Um, it's not just the portrait of a woman resting on a waterfall. It is a portrait of a loved person, and it relates how we uh, feel whole, held by the mother, by the so if you see, it's like he is resting on a fetal position, but it's like the rock itself holding her in the arms and let it purifying this its soul uh, with the water and the light. Something that I want to like part of the process, the intuition process of making a double exposure photography is that you take the first picture and the light burns the particles in the negative. So what you do is you take the first picture and you try to remind the composition. So the lights of the second picture have to go in the shadows of this of the lights of the second picture have to go upon the shadows of of the second one, of the first one. So that's how you create this image. And this is a special, and I can tell it's looking at you right now. If you can see, all of these words are connected by the gaze, by 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 the look. artworks that are not just there to be reflected on it, is to feel seen. Like this, the first picture is her in present in the waterfall, but the second picture is her down the water, and the only thing that keeps that portrait of her is this eye that looks at you. For me, something that it is really important, and that shows my relationship with my work, is that I like to say that I like to create like oracles where people can see reflected in a very deep state of mind, or in a very deep way. And most of my work is inspired by some terms like the komorebi, the Japanese word that express how the light is cast through the leaf of the trees, and the sense of peace and wholeness that that gives to us. So when I'm doing double and triple exposure photography, I'm not just looking for water reflections or the the light coming through the trees on the umbrals, on the threshold of the trees. I'm looking, to find that essence, that portal where you can see reflect yourself and keep creating meaning and create um, feelings from that. Create different way of thoughts. So this is a portrait of this is a capture that shows that, a still river and the reflection that, that is like just can be an eternal instant. And that's how this comes up. The name of this artwork is Portal 1, second is Portal 2, and this belongs to uh, when we were looking to make to when this with these are, like I can say, these images are sisters from the same negative. If you see in the negative, they are just separated by a little space, but in essence are the same picture. The first picture is the same. The thing that changed is the context of the second one. And I like to say, as I told you before, that these images work like oracles, like natural mirrors, and they reflect not just on that, but on the human relationships, like friendships, love relationships. It's how they invite us to see how we relate with the world, with the other one. The story that I like to tell myself with these two is like they are two souls that has lost the chance to talk and have a physical contact in this realm, so they just have to create a relationship in the imaginary world, in, from the imagine. So for me are very special, and all these pictures are really special because are dedicated to someone that has shaped my path and has inspired me in a very deep way. So for me is that's the essence of this image. It's a natural mirror where you can see someone that you miss, someone that you love, someone that maybe is not more in this realm, and how we keep creating that silent dialogue when we find meaning, when we find new memories, when we find new ways to survive and live in this contemporary world. Mhm. So that's why I like to tell that, for me, when someone take this picture for them, I like to tell, I wish that you have this with your best friend, with your lover, with your sister, because definitely are words that create a very strong link in between, create that physical and energy field when they are facing each other. This last picture that I want to show and share with you, it's called Niño Selva, or Kid of the Jungle. For me, this image is like an oracle. It's an amulet, and it's definitely one of the most important images of my work. And it's because I will tell you. It's not this image. It's like this, right? It's like a panoramic self-portrait of like me merging with the jungle, being just one with the landscape, with the nature. Uh, and all this exploration began in 2020 when I inherited a box of old pictures from my grandmother that passed away. And I found a picture of my dad when he was my age. That image, certainly in that moment of the life and how we were living in that moment, just changed my entire world, changed how I was seeing my life, changed how I was approaching to art, to the image itself. And I said to myself, I remember when I found this book and I found this picture, I was crying, and I promised myself I will create image that can um, create this powerful feeling, that can create this sense of wholeness, that can create this sense of identity, and how are related with, it was not about to find meaning inside this picture, but for me that was the first alchemy process of my work. It was create a visual language from a very personal memory. In the back of this picture, there's a message from my dad to my grandmother that it says, for my mother's in Valentine's Day, and was 10 years before I born. So this poster that says, repeat your mistakes, I take that it is me, following his steps and finding the meaning and the way to be here, and to keep uh, telling his story, telling my story, and helping other people and inspire other people to tell them story through art, and hopefully in an analog process. All right. And so I think that's what makes us unique, and but certainly that at the end we come from the same source of inspiration. Thank you very much.